All right, the purpose of this screencast is to give you an idea for the film evaluation unit and the actual assignment. Just a little preview and the guidelines. So I'm going to start here on my JT Learn page, film evaluation unit, and then I'll first click on the assignment sheet. Now, just for this review, I won't go over all of the assignments, but you have the MLA format here of how to properly format a video. Online, here is the analysis sheet that you have in class, and the criteria in which you will evaluate the film is here. But I want to first start off with the film evaluation assignment sheet. So as the assignment sheet opens, it has a detailed outline of your expectations for the assignment. You will use Rotten Tomatoes, which I'll show you in a moment. The film evaluation assignment, it is 200 points. It's basically a two-page MLA document consisting of components A and B. So I've outlined it here for A and B, so I've broken it down by pages. So the first page, MLA style, by 250 words, will be an introduction, a summary of your chosen film. Now you will evaluate a film of your choice. It doesn't matter, it can be rated R, but the whole idea is, obviously, if you use any images, quotes, things of that nature in your paper, you need to make sure that it is school appropriate. So the first page will be your introduction and summary. You write a brief introduction, 1 or 2 well-developed paragraphs, introducing your film, the actors, actresses, the director, publication date, when it was produced, how much it grossed the first weekend, etc., those pertinent information. And then you will also go into a 1 to 2 paragraph summary of your film, with the morale, main idea, and a significant why you chose this film. It could be something that you love, or it could be something, that film that you watched and you just absolutely hated it. The whole idea is you want to give me a brief introduction and as well as a summary. Now your second page is what you'll use the Rotten Tomatoes for, which you'll take a look at. You'll have a well-developed thesis, and then you'll have some critiques with your second page. Your thesis should be a statement describing your stance on the film. So this is where you actually tell me whether you loved it or hated it. Component A is just kind of giving me a background information, introduction, summary of the film, and then the second page you have a well-developed thesis. You will tell me whether you loved it or hated it, and particularly why. You will include 3 perspectives from the Rotten Tomatoes. So not only will you give me your own perception of this film in a well-crafted thesis, then you'll tell me how other critics think about it. So just jump down here for the thesis statement, because I gave you a couple of different examples. Compare this thesis statement with your own. A bad one, I didn't like the film, something bothered it about me. Kind of vague, doesn't give me a specific reason what you didn't like about the film, why it bothered you. And then I have a better thesis statement here, but I want to kind of jump to the excellent one. An excellent thesis statement to kind of give the reader, as well as myself, an idea of why you loved the film, what specific aspects about the film you loved, and particularly what I can read a little bit more about in your evaluation and the analysis will be a thesis like this. Every scene in the film showed Stewart's mastery as a director. What really makes this film enjoyable are the lively dialogues, boom, dialogues. So I'll talk about the dialogues, the conversations that take place in the film, the tone in their voice, etc. Creative songs, so I'll talk about the songs. And I love Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. The Oompa Loompas, you can't get enough of the Oompa Loompas. But the creative songs, Oompa Loompa Doopity Doo, I have a nice, you get the idea. Creative songs, and then obviously the convincing characterization of the actors, Gene Wilder, etc. Those individuals that are in the original film of Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. Those are 3 specific reasons why I consider this to be a mastery film, and you can kind of see that you get an idea of what I'll be writing about in the next paragraph or so in my evaluation. So you need to have 2 or 3 specific things that you want to talk about in your evaluation. Again, don't try to go off of memory. You will need to watch this film again. So whatever your favorite film is, you'll need to watch it again and take notes. So that way you can kind of pull out specific aspects about the film. Hence, this is the reason why we're going over it today. You'll have it early, and you can take advantage of the time that you'll be off next week to watch the film again. So that's my recommendation. Let's go to Rotten Tomatoes, because this is where you get the pertinent information for your critiques when it comes down to the 3 critics that you will need. If you're not familiar with Rotten Tomatoes, take a day, either today or Friday, to kind of review, play around with Rotten Tomatoes, because it is an excellent website. It lists a lot of critiques about certain films within the last 50 years. Any of the new films haven't particularly been rated as of yet. But simply what you'll do is use Rotten Tomatoes. You'll click in your title of your film, Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. The original version with Gene Wilder is 1971. You click on it, and then it'll give you a lot of information that can help you with your introduction, your summary, as well as your critiques. So here it has a little trailer, so feel free to watch the trailer in class. You get a chance to watch the movie in class. Just the trailer. When it comes up, I'll kind of scroll down a little bit. So this is the Tomatometer. One of the handouts that you will have is listed Tomatometer. This will help you, 89%. So majority of the individuals in the audience loved Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. If it's a rotten tomato, obviously it will be green. Scroll down a little bit more. Again, various clips of videos. But then here's some basic information on the movie. And this is what I could actually use in my evaluation. Gives me a little background. It tells me who was directed by in theaters. At this time, with the DVD in 2001, but obviously it was limited in theaters in 1971. But it actually grossed $4 million in the box office. So this is something that I can include in my review. Then you go down a little bit further. These are the critics, I'm sorry, that you will have to use. You will have to use at least 3 in your paper. You have the critics here. The tomato means that they loved it. And then if it's something that's rotten, they will see it as green here. So again, you'll click on the full review, and then you will include at least 3 of these critics in your essay. So I'll just click on one to give you an idea. This is written in 2012. When you click on it, now you will have, it's something similar to your research paper because you have to do an in-text citation. You'll quote it, and then you'll put it in your paper in regards to your analysis. So this is by Ken Eisler, and then normally it's about a page or so. You read it, and then you want to include something about the film that whether they loved it. My wife loved it. Vehicle was too busy. It's time. Willy Wonka, boom, boom, boom. You include that in there. So you have to read the actual review to see what they thought about it, and then you include that in your actual paper for one of the 3 critiques. And then just go to one that somebody that loved it. That hated it. See the full review. And you'll have more information for those that are a little bit newer films. Again, this is 1971, so that's why some of the things are not as pertinent and as new compared to the others. So when I scroll down, Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, again, it'll give me another review. It's a fantasy with problems and magical. I just missed it here, but you can kind of see the principle behind it. Talks about the different phases of the film, but you'll include 3. You can do more, but you'll have to include at least 3 in your evaluation. Now let's see if we can go back to the JT Learn page just to show you this last page for the handout for the Rotten Tomatoes, because this is what you will use while you're using Rotten Tomatoes. So I'll try to open up another window to see if we have it here. If not, I'll go back. Okay, I'm going back to JT Learn. Now this is what you can use while you're looking at Rotten Tomatoes, as well as your movie. It kind of gets you some notes and things like that that you can use with your paper. So here, I'll just show you that, and then I will end this screencast. Also, while I'm kind of pulling this up, make sure you take a look at plug ESPN2 tonight. Kobe Bean Bryant, the Mambas' last game comes on ESPN2, and then we'll see if we can watch some highlights or something in class. Let's see Rotten Tomato analysis. This is what we're looking at. So this is the handout. Again, it's hyperlinked to Rotten Tomatoes directly here. It gives you the instructions, what you'll have to do, and then what's the title of your video, the director, Tomatometer, box office numbers, viewpoint of one of the authors. So then you write down the author's name, what is their viewpoint, give you a little information that you can actually write down the quote. So this is kind of like your rough draft scratch paper. This will eventually turn into about a page of your actual evaluation. What's your general impression of the critics? What do you agree or disagree about it? And then at the bottom, you have an opportunity for kind of a working thesis. So this is what you will use in conjunction with Rotten Tomatoes to kind of get you started. The due date for this assignment is the 26th. It's a Tuesday. You almost have 2 weeks to complete it. I'm giving you time to actually watch the film again And then also you have classroom time to work on it, edit it, and then you kind of go from there. All right. If you have any questions, let me know. And I think that's about it. All right. Yeah.